you guys. So today we're just going to take a look and see what your person of interest is feeling towards you at this time. Let's take a look and see what they're feeling for you at this time. Okay. So I'm getting that. Okay. This person may have really stood in a sense of arrogance. They have moved away from you and stood in this prideful understanding. They stood like for some of you, it shows up as them kind of like just knowing they were wrong, but refusing to admit it. And just standing even stronger in that wrong understanding. Standing strong and wrong is kind of what that is coming up here. But they're exhausted from this understanding. It's not giving them any peace, you know? It's not keeping them warm at night. This pride that they stood in, this ego, this understanding when they knew you were right. They're exhausted from it. They're exhausted. And they're having a lot of you just kind of like light bulb moments coming up here pertaining to this exhausted energy that they feel, this heaviness, this burdensome understanding. Spirit's using this energy to really wake them up and show them kind of like really just kind of what a butthole they've been, like just really making them face themselves. They are facing who they have been, and they're facing the accountability within themselves or in their environment for all that they've done. Really, really exhausted energy. Yeah. I'm also getting to that. Maybe they would have felt this exhausted understanding a long time ago. And not just with the standing in this burdensome, prideful energy, but more the understanding of like, there are ways in which you held them up. There are ways in which you comforted them. There are ways in which you made them feel at peace and fulfilled. But they didn't give the same open understanding to you. You know, they would have felt exhausted or depleted and, you know, like not been able to continue moving forward easily in their life and environment if your energy had stepped away a long time ago. And they're now realizing just how much you were giving to them and just how much they messed up. Like it really just shows up as they are feeling not just drained from standing with this masked energy, standing when they know they were wrong. They're also feeling this understanding of, man, there's so many things that I'm dealing with in my life that were trying to beat me down, but this person kept me feeling inspired, kept making me, pushing me to move forward, kept so, just really, really just kept me in the better spirits, or kept me believing more in myself than I do at this time, and I don't have that anymore. They're seeing it. They're seeing all that you've been to them. Cool. One more. Yeah, return. They want to return. I'm really getting a sense of them wanting to return, wanting to make, you know, like reconcile with you, make things right. But they had to go through this understanding of feeling this exhausted energy in order to get there. They had to. You know, like they really had to feel the pain of this. So, and that's what spirit does to us a lot of times. It'll be like, oh, you're right. Right and truth are not always the same thing. You know, this person had a right to stand in this prideful energy. But the truth is that they know that the pride or the egoic energy that they were standing in was just because they felt shame and they did not want to take accountability for their actions. So like they had a right to stand in this energy. But the truth is that they're getting the consequences of doing so as well. You know, the truth is that they were wrong for their actions, and now they're having to face so much burden, so much, you know, tiresome energy because they chose to not take accountability in the past, and they chose to try to pretend like they, you know, didn't do anything wrong, or they didn't hurt you, or they weren't the one that needed to make things right. Yeah, they may have even gaslit you in some sense. So yeah, they're wanting to reconcile and return and apologize for that energy. Let's see. Yep. They're very lonely here. Nothing will comfort them. I told you, man. Their pride, their arrogance is not keeping them warm at night. They are lonely in this energy, sad. And there's actually a Maxwell song coming up here in relation to this. It's like, lonely is the only company, unless you're the one no one could ever be. So again, nobody else could replace you. No one else can be you. And some of them may have even tried to pretend that that could be the case. But the truth is they out here, just really, really in this depressive understanding because they chose to lean into this egoic energy. Yeah. Because they were afraid of taking accountability. They were afraid of the consequences that could come if they did so, which often happens. Most people find it hard to take accountability. We don't really live in a society that raises us to take accountability for our actions. I mean, there are some people that don't. I mean, it's a double-edged. There can be people that do. They lean too heavily into always feeling like things are their fault, and then there are people that, no, they don't. But we do live in a society that doesn't really raise us to take accountability for our actions a lot of times. And when it comes to the emotional understanding, we're not going to get into all that, though, because I could go even in with the laws, because even our laws are often set up where it helps you remove accountability in some situations. But yeah, let me see. What's the other understanding? Anything else? Okay, so this energy shows up as them hoping that you will allow them back in. I do get kind of like this, almost like sad puppy dog energy coming up here. Like they want you to let them back in. They're also wanting to prove, I get to some extent, they want to prove that they are loyal to you, or they want you, or that they're going to be better. That I get so many understandings here. They'll be more consistent. They'll be what you deserve. But I also get that they're hoping that you still want them. You are not moving toward anybody else, even though they may have damaged this connection, moved away, whatever the case may be. They're hoping that you haven't moved on, and they're really, really hoping that you still want them. Like it just shows up strongly as like, I hope that your energy is still loyal or still wanting to be with me, because it could be the understanding of, let's say you get back together or you come together again and you're like, well, this actually isn't what I want now that we're back. I actually want to move towards somebody else. They're hoping that, like your energy hasn't changed because of their action, to something that is, your energy hasn't changed to something that says like, hey, I don't want this as a long-term understanding anymore. I'm just waiting, or like I'll let you be in the picture, but it's just until I find better for myself. They do have some fear of you possibly, even if you let them in, that it could be that. So they're really hoping that you're still wanting them long term. Let me see. Is there anything else? So I was gonna pull more for this, but I really actually don't feel it necessary. I feel like this is the message. This person is exhausted from standing in their pride, standing in this egoic understanding, and they're having a lot of realizations pertaining to that. They're going to return towards you. They're feeling very, very lonely. It's a lot of sense of them feeling sad or depressed, but they did this to themselves by refusing to give or refusing to take accountability for their actions, and they are going to come back in a very consistent energy. They're hoping that you still want to have that with them. So I'm going to leave this here. I hope it resonates. And if it doesn't, I hope you find what does.